you can add to our system and control it directly from it. Now, what kind of systems we do control? Clients sometimes coming to you asking, okay, what can you do? I understand you can like do this wire and do this socket, but what can you do in terms of home automation and smart home? So you need to answer quickly. And we have this quick answer in this presentation. So we have all this controlled by the system, and actually much more, but this is just for you to remember easier. So first we start with lighting, and then we continue to motors, and then we continue to control AC and all the climate, sometimes heating, sometimes warm floors if you want, and security, and then media, home appliance, coffee machines, and so on. And then we have control elements which control all this, which control motors, home appliance, security, media, lighting, and AC. We have all these control elements. So this is the next part of this presentation, explaining for you how to bring all this to the client when client asks like, what is smart home? So smart home is all of these working together. So we start with lighting control, and this is the example of device which controls the lighting. I think we have like 10-15 devices which can control lighting, and this one controls LED lighting. LED can be one color, can be different color temperature, like warmer, colder, cooler, and can be color, RGB, can be RGB with white, RGBW, and can be RGBWW, so RGB with tunable white. So all of these you can control from this device. This device is specially for 12 volts up to 24 volts light fittings and lights, but we have different types for 230 volts and so on. So what you can do is you can control color, and this is the example of how this works in a real installation on a ladder like this. On stairs, sorry, this is not ladder, this is stairs. We support dimming, we support different kinds of color, we support DALI. Who knows? They know. Who don't know, please write me in chat. I can explain what is DALI. This is Digital Addressable Lighting Interface, which is inside some of lights right now. And we also support addressable strips. So if you look at this, how this moves, you can see it changes color like this, like running. And this is because we control addressable light, and we can make this running effect by default. Okay, and then we control motors and blinds, and this is the type of device. These are two types of devices on the screen right now. One of them is for DIN rail, so for dB. Another one goes behind the switch. So this small one, it goes into the Petrus box behind the switch. It has some inputs for buttons, so you connect buttons to those. And outputs, they go to motors, or they can go to light as well. Okay? So this relay, for example, controls 18 functions or up to 9 motors, or gates, or other types of motorization. We also support smart glass, which is changeable transparency, like what you see now on the screen. And we have also tubular motors controlled, which is quite easy from our system. We have different options to control them. And then we control air conditioners. As for air conditioners, we can control typical fan coils and some other types of air conditioners. We can also use external temperature sensors and humidity sensors, and some types of sensors we can connect in here. For example, this device is compatible with up to 12 temperature sensors, and different types of sensors you can use. This is one of the options which you can use to control from your smartphone. So this part controls the temperature, air temperature, and this part controls humidity. So you can select the humidity which you want, and then humidifier and dehumidifier start working to get this humidity as we need it. This is automatic function. You don't need to set it up the hard way. And then we have some adapters for some types of air conditioners. We have adapters. This adapter, BWAC, it goes directly inside the air conditioner. So you connect it to the connector which is in Mitsubishi Electric and Daikin air conditioners, and you get two-way control for it. So once you connect, you immediately can control this AC from the application. And then we also have some security functions, and we have our own door entry intercom. So for villas and for apartments, but not for buildings. This is like a one client story. So you can connect lock, you can connect PoE local network, and you can have inside the house, you can have also PoE panels, which will be the answering part, or it can call to the smartphone. We also have a security function, so you can give the client the option. Even if client does not buy the security system separate, he will still have the option to arm the system, or to arm only first floor and third floor, but not second floor where they have the bedroom, for example. So it is quite easy to set up the security functions in Larnitech and include camera feeds in there. So almost any type of camera, you can see it from our application. And also, if you have some kind of alarm, like zone access alarm, for example, you are not home and home is armed, but you have motion in the bedroom. So what you can do is you can also see external cameras. For example, you have some external cameras looking at the street, and you can see the 30 seconds of record in the same time. So you can understand whether something has happened with the window from outside, and whether someone entered or no. So many things you can do. We also have some media control. So for audio system throughout the house, you can use this kind of smart amplifiers, which include AirPlay, they include DLNA. So DLNA is used when you have your own local connection of, for example, uncompressed music on a network hard drive. And AirPlay, of course, if you would like to use Apple Music, or we also support Spotify and some other services. And we have voice over and personal announcements. Not personal, sorry, PA is public announcement. So public announcement is the thing which you have, for example, in aircraft. When you fly, for example, from one city to another, and you are watching, let's say, movie, and then movie stops, and you can hear in your headphones what pilot is to say to you. So this is a public announcement, and we have this public announcement function. So in different rooms we can have different music playing, and then, for example, I don't know, mother has the lunch ready, and she just presses button and says this room, this and this. Lunch is ready, please come to the dining room. Yes, and everyone can hear all this. This is also a nice function for commercial installations. And we have automation sounds, and this means that when anything happens, we can have the sound with it. So, for example, you would like, when the gate is open, you would like the sound to say like the gate is open, something like this. So, you can also have notifications, like some kind of alarm, and you have water leakage, I don't know, in the kitchen. So you can have a separate voice speaking about this, like as an audio file. Okay, so this is how you connect it. For example, you have one media point, another. So the new version gives you two zones even. So you can connect, in the new version, you can connect, for example, two bathrooms, and they can have different music. But current version is like this, like one zone, one device. You have the power supply and you have the connection to IP network. And then our main gateway, the central controller, controls all this system. So you are able to have the access through the application and so on. Okay, we have also home appliance control. So for example, the most popular one is to connect coffee machine in a showroom or somewhere. So you have the button like to make an Americano or something like this. Also some washing machines, for example, when they stop the washing process and they are ready to give you everything away. So something will blink, like the green light will blink 3 times, something like this. So you understand that now it is done. We also have two-way FTTT integration, and this thing is good, for example, when you want to have some kind of a smart lock connected, when you want to have quite a lot of functions, including, for example, prayer times. If you would like to announce prayer times, or to do something like to warn about prayer times, you can do it through the connecting our system to FTTT. They have very nice notification about prayer times throughout the days. So you can use it to do anything inside the automation. Quite a lot of clients, they are asking for it. So then this is the example from a real project, like what happens when some floor gets not so clean. We can use vacuum cleaner directly from the application or by voice. So now let's speak about how do we control all this. So we've seen now that we control lighting, we control blinds and motors, we then also control security, we control media, we control home devices and air conditioners. So how do we control all this? This is the list. We start from switches and buttons, which are the most common for people. So it is important that people, they feel used to it. So they do not need to learn something new. And then we have some smart switches, and they are nice because sometimes you would like to have temperature sensor inside and things like that. And we have touch screens and remotes. We have sensors which you can connect to automation process, and then voice control, and then gadgets control. So let's start from buttons and typical LED feedback control panels. So what you can use to control the system is you can use typical switches. And quite a lot of clients, they say, please do it like normal system, I don't need to understand that this is smart until I want to control it by voice or by app. So this looks typical. And if some guy's grandmother comes, she understands that this button and light is on, so like all the time. But you can also use low voltage buttons, so up to 6 buttons you can have in the size of typical switch. And if you have icons on it, it is quite easy to understand what this button is doing. So you can have also the name. And this is included in the price. So with the product line of switches which we offer, the engraving, laser engraving, is included, so you don't need to pay for it. And then we have smart control panels which you can use. You can use ones which we offer with thermostats, for example, like this. Or you can use third party, like if you want to use KNX panels, you can use. If you want to use other types of smart panels, you can also use. And then we have wall touch screens. So some people ask, like, why do we need wall touch screens? We have iPads. iPads are also nice, but there is a difference. So, for example, here you can see the iPad, yes, and you can see like one of our panels, like 10-inch panels. So they are different because iPad has a battery inside, and this panel has no battery inside and is installed in a typical back box. So you have a typical back box, you install it in here, and that's it. You just use one wire, one Cat6 wire. Oh, sorry. What is? I'm sorry, I touched the iPad, so it doesn't matter. So you use just one wire which you have the power in, and you have the information and local network in, and this is it. So there is no chance that this will blow up because of the battery being charged by 2 years in a row. Sometimes this happens with the iPad. So the wall panel is better in this thing. But as for the screen quality, of course, iPads Pro are always the best. And then we have audio video control option. So sometimes you need to control the home theater. Sometimes you need to control more audio video things and in different rooms. So some clients, they prefer this kind of remotes. You can use RTI and you can use Control 4. So we are compatible with those. And then we have smart sensors. Some of them are small, some of them are bigger and for wall, and some of them are for ceiling and have a lot of functions inside. So, for example, the big one has temperature, humidity, CO2, light level, and motion inside. And the small one has only light level, motion, and infrared output, so we can control some kinds of air conditioners using it. Okay, and then we support different types of voice assistants, and you don't have to pay separately for it. You don't have to buy different licenses. This is all included. Okay, and then we go for an application control. So you can use this light user interface or this dark user interface. Both of them, they support plan. So you can have the plan, floor plan, and client just understands like what is in there. And floor plan can be 3D, so you can use a PNG image, which is 3D image of the design project of your of your site, and then you just put different elements on it which you would like to control. This is quite easy. Now let's move to the part where we explain why our system is actually the best for you, because our system is made for system integrator or installer exclusively. It is not made for end user, and it is not made to be sold to end user. It is made to be sold to the professional people who make this system each time on every project. So first, we fight for your profit by making it in Germany. Because when you ask people like where would you like most reliable devices to be made, they say Germany, like usually this is in top one. And we also give 5 years warranty, so you can be sure that this works for a long time. And then we do not sell to the end user. So this is, let's say this is our factory. We produce the device, and then this device does not go to the client. This device goes to the installation company, and only installation company makes this device, which does nothing by default, makes the smart home from this one. So if client comes to us saying please sell us, we say okay, but you need to buy it from the certified installer, because otherwise you will not get this 5 years warranty. If you buy it somewhere and not from the certified installer, then no warranty. Okay? So this is made for installers so they can make their own projects for the client. And then we have another function which fights for a profit. And this is maybe one of the most important. So let's say you installed everything and you still have some profit. So client paid you this amount of money, and this amount of money is left. So this, you think this is my profit, good. But then you realize that this system which is installed needs to be set up. And now I speak about competitive products like from other companies. Usually you send your people or you go yourself and you set it up. And you spend 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 1 week, then maybe 1 month, maybe more on this project. And all your profit gets smaller, smaller and smaller because you waste money, you waste time, you pay to people, you pay for transport expenses and so on. So this setup process, it eats your profit, and project which was profitable becomes a loss, unfortunately. So this is very, very common situation. And what we did to stop this from happening is we did plug and play function. So we are the first company on the professional installation company, on the professional installation market, which made this plug and play function. So once you have a new device, you connect it, and then on all devices which are connected, like all smartphones, like let's say 5 smartphones are connected, 3 touch panels are connected, maybe some iPads are connected and so on. All of these devices will have it appearing and working in the same 5 seconds. Okay, so this plug and play function reduces the setup process, and then your profit stays with you, not going away somewhere. So this is quite important thing, and that is why people who start using Larnitech and stores who start using Larnitech, they are very rarely they come back to any kind of another technology. Okay, we also have ecosystems ready to use, and this is also our part of fighting for your profit, because If we just made an automation and we can do this sensor working with this lamp, and we can do this AC automation and so on, this would be nice, but the client comes and says, I want this home application to work. I want this, like, I put this down and I have here some kind of widgets and they should work. So if you don't have it, the client will say, okay, I don't need it. Some clients. So this is another thing. You just mark all the functions inside our system which you would like to be available in the ecosystem, and it will be available immediately. And last but not least, last for this webinar, but not least function-wise, we have remote maintenance. We are one of the very small amount of automation companies which already have this technology implemented for a few years. And so it is tested and it is working very good for, I think, 3 years already for all installers. Before, it was available only for building companies, building developers, like big companies for big money. And from 2020, we have this instrument available for all installers. So every controller and every site which you have this smart home in becomes available for you remotely. So in here, this one is a real screenshot. So what you see here is the installation 1, installation 2, installation 3. So let's say you have like 50 installations during last 3 years. And one of these clients calling you, like saying, please move this button from this room to a different room, and it also should be a little bit brighter, and it also should be like work a little different. So what you do is you are not going there like for 500 kilometers, but you are just opening this site remotely. You move and you change this function as client wants, asking like, is it working now correctly? He tries, he says yes, and that's it. So you can also see the temperature of every controller remotely. Like for example, this sensor, and you can see the temperature is high for some reason. So then you want to check, for example. So if you are servicing this project, you go check, and you understand that it is now on a sun, for example, for some reason. So you can see the temperature and you can see how every controller works remotely. And we also keep supporting you. This means that we help you to make faster quotations. What we have is this type of files. We have different types of files which help you to make BOQ faster. So bill of quantity you can make, for example, client comes to you saying, this is my villa. Please make, like you have 3 days, and please make some first BOQ. But I don't have design, I don't have anything yet, but please give me BOQ. It means that you will need to spend these 3 days like trying to understand what is in this room. Will here be some lights, or maybe blinds, or maybe not? So you will spend quite a lot of time. But this one helps you to get Larnitech quotation, just our part of quotation, very fast. Like for villa, you can make it within 5 minutes, for example, because you just change room, another room, another room, another room, and then it automatically offers you what should be in this room typically. And if you want, for example, something different in this room, for example, you want some LED color light, or you want, I don't know, this type of sensor in every room, and so on, you will just edit this. So you will edit a typical bedroom and all bedroom will change. Okay. And for first quotations, our managers, they will help you. So what you can do, you can connect to these guys and you can ask them and they will support. Okay. For every room you will need from this to this and so on. He said, I don't need it. So what we do is we do this file, which will at least gives you understanding, like in which room. So here, for example, living room, what you have here this light which is on off, this light which is color, this curtain and this curtain, and also this sensor, this switch, and this sensor and this fan coil, and maybe some more. And you see where it goes and where it connects, and by its name you understand how many channels does it use, so how big distribution board you need, and so on. Okay, so we do this for free, but we require some money, because if client pays you for first job, so like to understand, to draw something, then part of this money you pay to us, something like 500 dirhams, I guess. And we just, then later we make the equipment cheaper on 500 dirhams. So this becomes free for you after the equipment is bought. Okay? This is almost it. What you can do is you can go and learn more. So first step usually is to have some small certification. You can go press online training on our Larnitech.ae website. You go press basic, and there are some videos which you see. These videos, they just give you understanding of how system works, like what kind of power supplies are used, what each device is used for, and so on. And then you have some kind of a test, and then you have the certification. You will need to provide us that you are an installation company or installation person with a license, or maybe with your projects, but this is a requirement. So if you want to work with us, you will need to prove you are the company which is installation company. Okay. And first thing which you should do even before you go to training, you should join our Partners Club. The Partners Club is this is some kind of a dealership system, but this is maybe a little bit like franchise, because we can tell you almost everything. If you are a beginning company, we can tell you how to work better on this market. If you are like experienced company, we can maybe also give you some advice, because as for me, I worked more than 20 years on this market. I worked with a lot of different brands, with a lot of Canex brands, with a lot of brands like Clipsal and HDL and others during my life for many years. So I understand very well how this works inside. So we can give you a lot of advices. We have the advanced online training. We have practice in office, so you can go and play with some devices in our office in Media City. And we have some more privileges. So this comment is attached, so you can see it now in the comment section on the top. So you can just press this button on top, or I think I can also copy it once again. Okay, and that's it. So this is everything I wanted to tell you, and this is a QR code. If you want to go to this link, you can also read this QR code and leave us like the message about your interest, and then Mr. Gulam and Mr. Yegor will contact you and help you with your process of getting your first project, with getting your showroom devices, getting your training, and also practice sessions and so on. Okay, so if you have questions, like any questions on home automation, I'm ready to answer. This presentation is based on answering on previous questions from previous months and weeks of this webinar. So these are usually answers. So if you have questions, I am ready to answer. This is not very end actually. I have a small video for you while you think about questions. So okay, this is it. So I see from Mr. Franco that he has subscribed. Thank you very much. Yes, during Saturdays we have technical webinars, not technical, but sometimes they are sales webinars, sometimes they are webinars for in stores, but not on technical things, because for technical things you should go to online training and almost everything technical is inside there. But if you want to understand something more, please tell us. We can have video about this. Okay. So what I have here today, I have here on a test, I have a new device which is named BT CAN, for example. And this one, so you connect any of Larnitech devices from one side. So, as an example, you have this relay. This is wired, you need a bus for it. So, what you do is you connect with the bus. You connect this one, so it gives you wireless connection, and then you get this device connected here. And then you will need power. For example, you can have it from USB. I get it from USB, or you can get it from 12 volts, for example, or 24 volts. And then this part of system will be fully wireless. So you can have no wires in this room, but everything will be available inside our system, and also with plug and play. So once you connect this one, it will immediately be available inside our software. So this is quite nice. This is not in our price list yet, but I'm testing it and it works perfectly yet. So some wireless functions, they will be available very soon. Okay, thank you very much. I'm finishing this one. Hope to see you on Saturday at 12 o'clock on our webinar only for partners. We decide about the topic at the moment, so within today we will tell you what kind of topic will be on this Saturday. If you would like to have something special, please write us or tell sales manager guys, and they will tell me. Okay, so thank you very much, guys. See you.